Are we good to rock and roll? We're rolling as we speak. Rolling as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, we hear you. We see you. People in the comments said that they want more content. They want another video a week. So not only are we in the works for that, we said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's throw a podcast at them. This is the Bob Does Sports podcast. What would Bob Does Sports be without Joey Coldcuts, without Fat Perez, and a guy that everybody wanted to see for quite some time? He's been behind the lens, little here, little there. The Jet. Let's give a warm round of applause for episode 1 here.
Wow. Episode 1, Bob Does Sports.
Bob Does Sports, Chevy Chase Country Club. Today we are going to be doing the Hot Ones Wing Challenge, which we are dreading. It's not going to be good.
Well, a challenge is never good, Bob. I mean, a challenge is always a challenge. It's just that. But I feel, and I think the team feels like we haven't done a challenge in a while. And Perez has never been involved in a challenge. Perez, welcome aboard.
Yeah, I don't think I've done
The
a challenge.
challenge
Really, I
train.
appreciate you letting me in on these things with the hot sauce challenge. I'll be feeling this one for a few days.
I
think.
do
So,
think-
Bob, walk them through the idea of what we're doing exactly.
Yeah, so the Hot Ones Challenge has 9 different sauces. I think it has, 10 different sauces. We're going to get it down to 9 somehow, some way. 9 holes, 9 different sauces. We're going to eat a chicken wing. Again, shout out Chevy Chase, the only country club that would have us be willing to do this. We
That's
did the
Chevy.
hot dog challenge. That is Chevy.
That is Chevy.
I don't
is
another
Chevy.
place. I don't know another place that would let us do this.
That probably should tell us something about what we do
Yes.
and the way we do it.
Or it just says something really good about Chevy Chase Country Club.
Great point, Joseph.
Yeah, that's
Chevy.
you. Now, Jet, you almost, when we do the drinking challenges, okay, and I do want to do a drinking challenge with Fat Perez, you almost hate when we do the drinking challenge because
Yes,
then you kind of. Why do you hate the challenges?
So, I mean, I love the challenges. The drinking challenges are the best. We all know that. It's just, you guys are kind of clowns. So I gotta then I have to enter, babysitting mode, which is great. I'm not bad at babysitting, but, for the views, it's worth it. And people love the challenges. I want to get Perez in one, though. He hasn't done, Perez does a drinking challenge, for just his natural life. So I think,
Good point.
I
And
think-
always-
Jet already
and I-
coming
and
out
I
with
always
some-
win.
no, so I
Nice
think.
little jabs at Perez.
No,
We are
Jazz. So I
rolling.
think that Perez in a drinking challenge would, max
Win?
out. No, I think you'd win, but I think people want to see it.
Yeah, I like to drink. If you guys want to
That's
see me
no
drink,
secret.
I'm happy to show you me drinking as much as you want, quite frankly. Tell Bob that every video should be me drinking a lot, and that would really do me a big favor because normally they just get frustrated with me for drinking a lot, but it's my job.
It is your job now. Jet, in the couple that we've done, the drinking, we've done the beers and then the Fireball. When were we worse to deal with, me and Bob? Because
So-
we did the beer in Scottsdale, I think, and then the Fireball was in where?
There's
Del Mar.
a video in the Fireball, Del Mar, at the end, and I was getting pissed off. And then on the video, obviously didn't make the video, but you guys were like putting around the green. You were taking your time, and I was just like, hit the fucking putt
Oh, see, I
already.
would
Yeah,
love
Yeah, so that
to
one's
get that.
stored.
And we watched
that one's
the
in the
game
archives.
after that one too, right?
What's up?
That was when the Bills played
Yes,
the
then we
Chiefs.
we watched the Bills Chiefs. We lost a lot of money. It was a great day.
It's the
Yeah.
classic story of it was the Fireball challenge, and we got back and we were so hammered, and we're at the country club and we're having dinner, and I think either Jet or Cold Cuts turns to me, and we had just done 9 Fireballs each. I ordered an espresso to kind of wake me up. One of you guys turned to me and was like, "Bob, you just spilled your espresso on
I
your
did.
pants." I was like, I was so drunk that I didn't even feel that. So I get the babysitting thing, but I think we all just know from a numbers standpoint.
No, it's perfect. It's good. The problem with today is that wings are a different animal. Like hot wings. Like I don't know if you've seen the show, like Hot Ones. It's dangerous.
It's not dangerous. It's gonna
Well,
suck.
It's dangerous. I hope you brought. Did you bring milk?
We have a lot of
You know
milk.
what I
3
forgot to
cartons.
bring? I forgot to bring Tums.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Tums.
I think
Tums or like
Tums would-
Pepto Bismol.
yeah.
Would
the
have
pain
come
is
through
gonna
really
be
good.
is gonna be like later tonight and tomorrow. I think.
Is
for
that
this. Yeah.
so? Perez was saying
I'm
that
not
in
too
the-
scared about
yeah.
that.
Perez was saying that the taking the shit is going to be the worst
Yeah,
part.
I mean,
I can't
it's-
imagine that that's worse than it going in.
Dog, it comes out just as hot as it goes. It
What do you
comes
have
out just as hot.
experience with this?
Yeah, I like hot, spicy stuff. I've had some hot chicken in my day, and yeah, I mean it's just as hot coming out the other end. And It's not good.
I have
It's not
confidence
good.
because Ticket did this leisurely.
I was gonna say, Ticket, our other producer, decided to just let us know at dinner last night that he had already done this just for fun. That he's been the hottest sauce that they have.
Yeah,
And-
the bomb one I think is the one that apparently is really bad.
Yeah, I mean, you can go on YouTube and there's all these compilations of all the celebrities and guests that are basically their reactions to the bomb. It's like it's a problem, and I'd be lying to you if I'd say Bob and I haven't been watching that for like 3 straight days and just absolutely.
I haven't watched
putting
it. I don't want to
ourselves in the
intimidate
pressure.
myself.
Do you think you're gonna like achieve it or no?
I mean, well, I don't know what that means.
I think you
I'm
gotta-
gonna take I'm gonna take a bite of it,
Achieve.
and I'm gonna. Not
I'm saying
hopefully die, but, like,
finish all the sauces and break 40, right? Or
Is
no,
that
here
what it
we're
is?
breaking
Well, with
30.
Perez, I think maybe we have to break
I
like
think we
par.
should-
Par?
yeah.
Okay.
We have to break par with Perez.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it shouldn't affect our golf game.
You just
No,
cannot
I
touch
think
your
it will.
face. I'm
I
gonna
think
wear
you're
2
wrong.
gloves.
I
I
think
really
you're
don't know
wrong.
what to expect,
Because
man.
yeah, you're gonna have everything on your hands. You're
I
I'm
gonna,
gonna wear 2
know.
gloves today.
Did we
Sound-
bring
And
gloves?
then what? And take off
I
the
brought
glove.
a second glove.
Like a golf glove?
Yes, like a rain glove, just so that I don't touch my face or my eyes or anything. I mean, it's very smart. It's
2 gloves.
a heads up play.
Cutsy 2 gloves.
Cutsy
Cutsy
2
2 gloves.
You heard of 2 chains? Now you got 2 gloves.
And we gotta do something. Everybody wants an edible challenge. I think an
Yeah.
edible challenge
Let's
would
just get
be.
through this one first.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
question for the panel because we haven't discussed this: how much of the sauce do we actually have to put on the wing?
I just
Do
think
you have to
it's
put like a
dab.
dollop or like?
Yeah, I think one dip.
If
That
you-
can't
you have to
be
eat
that
no, but
bad.
you,
If you're putting a little bit of sauce on the thing,
I don't know, but you have to eat like you got to bite
like
the
a
sauce.
full half of the wing has
Well,
to be consumed.
yeah,
that's
it's
what I'm
gotta
saying.
get-
How
yeah.
much of the wings do we
I
have
think
to?
if you do half of the wing,
Yeah.
that's pretty sufficient.
Yeah, and I
like-
mean, this is probably no surprise to you guys, but I'm not a massive wing fan. So I mean, for me, it's just gonna be I'm gonna put the sauce on, and I'm gonna take 1 bite, and that's me doing it.
Yeah.
And like if that's not good for
No,
you
that's
guys, you
fine.
can-
That's
No,
what
as
they
long
do
as
in
the
the
sauce
show.
is you
That's what they
cover
do
the
in the show
sauce,
too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't need
Yeah.
to eat. I don't need to clean the
The
bone
the
dry.
sauce-
No, you don't need to eat the cartilage.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
I
Yeah.
would normally do that. I clean my wings normally when I
yeah.
eat wings. I don't
think-
leave anything.
I think the drinking one seemed off. I was more. I almost think I was more the hardest challenge we've done so far. I think the beer was harder to do than the fireball. Something about the fireball.
I would do the fireball challenge again. I mean, it was fun.
It
I
went
would-
down better than I
Well,
thought that
yeah,
it would.
I mean the beer, it's a lot more liquid.
Beer is
to get
heavy.
into.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Fireball's just a quick pull. I mean, it's the same amount of alcohol, same amount of drinks, but you're not nearly putting the same amount of liquid in your body.
The hot dog challenge to me is not even close. It's
Oh,
by far the
oh,
worst thing
yeah,
that
yeah,
we've done.
Chevy
yeah, I agree
Chase.
with
And we
that.
did it here. This is my first time coming back since then, so I got a little PTSD going on. But yeah, I think that these kind of things kind of separate us from the rest of the field. It's kind of unique. It's fun. You can watch it even if you don't golf. You can watch it if you golf. It's entertainment. It's entertaining.
You like
People
to
like
see
to see
people
us
suffer?
put ourselves through the gauntlet and see how we come out. And by the way, I think now of the challenges, like we successfully completed the beer one. Like we with the golf and consuming the beer.
Fireball, we
the
lost.
Fireball, we drank all the Fireball,
Yeah,
but
by
we
a
lost by a
stroke.
stroke.
Yeah.
And then the hot dog one, we ate all the hot dog. Well, we did puke them out, but we lost by again. I think 1 stroke.
I was
so-
surprised too. Nobody called us out in the comments for puking out the dogs. I think
Well,
they
I
just.
mean, what are you
they
supposed to
I
saw,
do?
think they
Bob, what we had to
respected the
do.
effort that we were putting out there.
The dogs went in the mouth; they can come out of the mouth. You know?
I mean, yeah.
And you guys, like, I mean, if you're doing a hot dog challenge, it should be like, like the hot dog eating contest is like normal size bun, normal size hot dog.
Also- yeah.
You guys came out here with like
Big
brioche,
old
Yeah, we didn't-
thick-
hot dog buns
It
and
was-
big.
We didn't prepare
I mean,
correctly.
what in the
As soon as
world
I
are
saw,
you doing to yourself?
But also we were talking about too. Not only the brioche bun was a killer because it was like a thick buttery bun.
Peppers?
Those dogs, it was like a bratwurst. It was like
They
a-
were
They were
big
massive. That's
boys.
just not,
Yeah.
like that's challenge on steroids.
Cuts, you had
dude.
peppers
Like,
on your dog.
I had the first
Yeah.
couple. I
Oh,
had
guys,
bacon and
ridiculous.
peppers.
relish.
That's
and
so arrogant.
They were
Like,
really good.
the
Chick-fil-A.
arrogance of that to think that you just,
I really
I've got
enjoyed the
room for
first couple.
bacon wraps.
You had a bacon wrapped hot dog.
That's ridiculous.
Now I will say the first two we were so hungry that we
Yeah.
were like prepping for. We didn't eat, so the first two were actually fantastic.
It's traumatizing once you get to like 7, 8, 9. Like Ticket just did the challenge where he had to eat all those hot dogs. I don't think he'll eat another hot dog for months.
Next
Like he said his whole
off.
appetite has changed. Like it
True.
changes the way
he
like
hasn't eaten like the same way at dinners
No,
this week.
no, not at all. And I think it's just it's a mental thing when you're force feeding yourself food like that. It's almost like repulsive.
Yeah, and also too, like even today. So you take the wing and you're battling it so much. Then you have to transition and to go hit a golf shot. It adds a lot to it. It's gonna be a fun challenge. We're not gonna give anything up. We got a couple videos in the bag already
Yep.
on this trip. And then I just wanted to update, kind of just for the Bob Does Sports podcast in general. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jet, I think what we plan to do schedule-wise is do like one every 2 weeks, just kind of fire them out as we go. Have a good production with it. We're all here, whether we're on the trips or whatnot, and just us shooting the shit,
Yep.
free-flowing, kind of like
Yeah.
Nelk Boys style, just the way they do it.
Well,
Yeah.
we put them out when we've got something good. We meet up with people, whoever, guests or whatever it may be. But like, we want to make sure that we're in a position, like we're traveling guests, whatever it may be, that we're putting out, something that's good. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it has
And we
to
got
be.
something to talk about, and not just saying, hey, Bob Does Sports podcast comes out every Wednesday. We hope it does. If we can pump one out every Wednesday, that means we're having great guests and we're doing great things. So I hope we can put one out every week. But we can't. We shouldn't put out a pod just to put one out.
Well, we're gonna
in my
see.
opinion.
We're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah.
Like we'll play it by ear.
Yeah.
I mean, if the people they ask for it, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the people want to see, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think like a lot of the time, even Jet, when we used to do the cart cam or not the cart cam,
Cart Chronicles?
the car cam, when we used to drive to the courses,
yeah.
and people could see like behind the scenes and like hear what happened. Like there's so much that happens day to day when we come out and play,
A lot of
like
road
funny
rage.
shit that isn't in the video or isn't seen. And I think like that's stuff that we could talk about, different things that happened, and like kind of give you like kind of like a backstage pass to kind of see what goes on when we film these videos and what happens, and just like the rigmarole that goes on day to day, because it's hysterical.
Jed made a good point the other day that I think would be awesome. I think, and like the changes from like other golf, like YouTube accounts and stuff. If we showed like us going out to dinner, we were at Rayo's last night,
Yeah.
having the
a
loudest
blast.
table in the room, having a blast. If we got that stuff, like the behind the scenes, like us going to dinner, or even that car stuff,
Yeah.
that stuff was great.
Yeah, I think if the four of us are ever heading to the golf course, or five of us heading to the golf course for any extended period of time in the car, some of the most ridiculous times that we've had are just like driving from an airport to a golf course.
Usually in Arizona.
In Arizona
Yeah.
or in California. And it's just ridiculous nonsense that we're losing our minds. We're crying, laughing. And like, let's just put a GoPro up on the
I know.
windshield. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it would go
who
a
knows?
long
I mean,
way.
like, it's not going to be a live stream, but, it'd certainly be pretty funny on the
Cancel.
back end. Yeah. So,
I think one of our favorite drives of all time. It's always like when we're going to the car, like when we're going to the courses and stuff. That's the best stuff. But after we beat Barstool, after we beat the four-play pod,
Yeah,
the
that
four
was
of us,
high spirits,
and
man.
everybody was just that was just tremendous. And then one of my favorite moments of all time was for Bob the Sports. We were trying to figure out who our fourth was going to be. And me and Jed are in Arizona, and like Jed hadn't said a word about being our fourth against Barstool. I didn't know
You
who
know.
wanted it. So we're at Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
And Jed said to me, he's like, "What the fuck, Bob?" He's like, "You're considering all these guys. What about fucking me? How about the guy who started Bob the Sports with you?" I'm
Or
like,
who
"Jed."
technically is Bob the Sports.
I was like, "Jet, I had no idea that you want." He's like, "I want the ball."
give them the ball.
Give him the ball.
Oh, Derek
I mean,
Henry over here.
I don't know if that's exactly how it went down. I had assumed from the start that I had the ball, right? And then we had that whole. It wasn't an issue, but it was like, I guess you thought I didn't want it, or you thought I wanted no part of it.
Yeah,
Because to that point, I had wanted no part of being on anything for the most part. And then we had that. I think it was on the other podcast where it was like, I am Bob Does Sports. And
Yes.
And if you would have gone, I feel like if you would have gone with some other guy, like if you would have taken a ringer and won, I mean, would that have been the same?
No.
Granted, I counted for a whole 2 shots.
No,
I counted for
Jet,
2 shots.
you don't
I
give
gave a
yourself
lot of
enough credit.
reads for Perez.
Yeah, you hit a lot of
I made
great
Lurch a
putts.
little nervous just with my
That's a good
entire
point.
just
You made
being.
everybody nervous.
I made
quite
everyone a little
frankly, yeah.
nervous, and that accounts for more than like
That's a good
shots.
point. Yeah, you were
So-
an unsettling force.
Yeah,
for
but the thing,
foreplay.
hold on. The thing with that, we can get into that because I've
They
never
thought
got
they were gonna
to.
accuse
I've
him,
never
kill him.
got to defend myself on that. I can finally defend myself on that. Like on the first tee, right? they were like, he's not breathing. Now, they were right. They were right. But hold on.
I've never seen someone so
Hold
nervous
on.
in my entire
They
life.
were right. I confirmed was not breathing. Okay, I blacked out. I have no idea where the ball went.
It
But-
went to the side of the fairway, and Jet looked like he just
Hang
escaped
on.
a Russian roulette.
But the reality is, like, imagine, like, put yourself in my shoes, right? You've never been. I used to watch Foreplay, 4-Man Scramble all the time. I was fans of them. I've seen all their stuff, and then for the first video I'm ever on is in front of 1 million people. Like, you guys have been on camera all the time. They're on camera all the time. They're like, it's like, oh, why is he so nervous? I don't know. Why do you think he's so nervous? Like, he's never done this before. It's like, you know?
Had you really been playing that much?
So also, that was the other thing that we got into. Like, I have a job, so I don't have so much time to like hit the range. So we would hit the range, and then a day before we went, do you remember we picked Perez up from the airport? We went to the range. I was striping balls. We were
Yes,
striping balls.
yes.
Now, granted, the day you stripe balls at the range, the next day you shoot 142. So the first day we were at Quail Lodge. We went out for Bobby Barrett was like, oh yeah, you can go like play a couple holes.
Yeah, I
So we get in
remember
the car.
that.
We get to the first tee. I'm like, fuck yeah, range. I think I landed in a living room off the first tee.
Yeah,
like
it was
a straight
bad.
duck hook
Yeah.
living
I
room.
looked at Jet and I was like, "You're gonna be okay," and he
cuts-
just was
No,
whiter than a ghost.
See, that's not what you said. You were like, oh, this better not show up tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, maybe
So-
that's like
so-
to think that
so
he was
the
very,
confidence-
you know,
You know,
like,
the-
yeah,
I don't remember
yeah,
saying that.
Don't
I
worry
mean,
about
I
it,
mean,
Jet.
that's
Everything's gonna be
cutscene.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this better not show up tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
I
what
bet
it
this
was.
better not to be
Or
the
it
guy
was
that
like,
comes out tomorrow.
yeah, the
Jet
ball
looks
goes
like
off.
the kind of kid who like grew up like needing tough love. You know, he's not the kind of kid who wants to be.
Oh, I mean, that's
what is that?
no,
He's Jet's not the
that's
kind of guy
true.
who you coddle. You give him tough love a little bit.
That's
and
true.
he
I didn't
rises to
realize
the
this
occasion.
became the Jet Show. I'm fine with it. But
Yeah.
besides that, listen. So Cutsy, it's not like sometimes when like one of you hit a ball, like everybody be like, okay, and then here Cutsy like, oh boy, like in the background, and then everyone's like,
do.
oh,
It's just
fuck,
what I-
It's such-
you know. So it's like,
when you hit a ball into the woods and you just watch it and you hear Joe in the back just go, oh.
or yeah, the other Cutsy move. The other
It
Cutsy
always-
move is when you're on the tee box. You're a second before you're about to hit your swing. Complete silence, and you hear, "Come on, Bob," and then you're like, "You guys never step off," but I would step off. Now,
Well, because
granted,
I want to
we-
get him excited.
Of
because
course. That's a good one
here,
There's
Jet.
so many times like I play against Bob and he plays so good, and like he's striping the ball and he's so dialed in, and I'm trying to beat him and he's like getting pars and I'm giving him strokes and I'm like, this is not easy. And then when it's like, okay, you and Bob versus Perez or versus somebody else, I'm like, let's go, Bob, we got this.
No,
and then
yeah.
for like multiple holes, he just is nowhere to be seen. And I'm like, where is this other Bob? And I asked him and he goes, well, yeah, no, I can rely on your shots. I'm like, well, Bob,
Yeah.
well, he's like, when I play by myself, I just have to rely on myself.
Yeah,
I'm like,
if you,
yeah.
I always say like if you like when we play the matches, if I go into the woods, I gotta go into the woods and then try and hit that ball out.
Yeah.
Having Perez behind you, and that's not the right mentality at all. None of my mentality is right with it. But just having Perez behind you, ready to roll, ready to fire, is the most comforting thing of all time.
Yeah,
you
it's
gotta-
interesting because like we talked about this a little last night, and generally like what that should like that scramble mentality of like, oh, I've got a safety net. In theory, most of the time, it should free somebody up to make good golf swings that they're not worried about the result. And you should generally play better golf and hit better golf shots because you have the safety net. You're not so worried about the next shot. But you're the complete opposite.
Correct.
I think your focus leaves you. And you're like, instead of like, oh, I got to grind on this match, I got to grind on my shot. You just sort of like everything's good. I can just like
Yeah,
it's
me-
like you're like I think it's like the opposite of what most people would react in that
Totally.
way.
Me and Perez were hammered last night on my
that's a
patio.
fact.
And we were talking about like golf mindset. Like Perez was talking to me about like golf mentality and mindset for probably 2 hours talking about
Did
like
I
the
come up?
mental game of golf.
because I have a
Sort
terrible
of,
mindset.
but not in like a bad way.
No, not in
No.
the bad way.
Well,
at
I'm
all.
gonna say I have a terrible golf mindset.
Yeah, but this was, like,
I'm a
therapeutic.
roller coaster of emotion. You know, the Perez told me something once that I could never get out of my head. It's insane to me. He said a good golfer should not celebrate after getting a birdie.
No.
I was like, what?
No,
I'm ready
as
to
he
fucking-
Euro steps
yeah.
off the green.
Yeah. So that's fair.
That's
fair.
a great.
Yeah.
That's a great bar from the Jet. But
But
no,
no,
I
no.
think
First
you're
bar
saying-
confirmed.
You're saying your heart
Jet
rate
on the board,
stays
bar.
the same no matter what, and I guess
Yeah.
if you get too high or too low, your heart rate deviates.
Well, yeah. I mean, the reality of it is like you watch somebody like a Cam Smith or a Patrick Cantlay, and they're not, some people are like, oh, they don't show anything on the course, and like from a TV entertainment perspective, it's not like the John Rahms of the world, the Tyrrell Hattons of the world that are super fiery, perhaps entertaining. But at the end of the day, like if you get super excited or super pissed off, like your body doesn't know positive or negative. It just knows increased heart rate. And either way, either side of that is doing that to you. And what that's going to do is get you kind of jittery and moving around. And so you're not going to play better golf getting all stoked. And yeah, I do a Eurostep, and that's true.
And so
but to be
Eurostep
fair, but like
merchandise.
Tiger said, I'm pretty sure about this. The Tiger used to say, like, when I get pissed off about a golf shot, I get myself 10 steps to be mad. And on that 10th step, it was gone. It was all gone.
I normally give myself 10 holes.
Yes, you do. And but that's the thing. It's like if you either have to totally control it and never have it, or you give yourself a set amount of time to feel that emotion, positive or negative, and then you have to kind of get yourself back in the mode because you got a next tee shot, and the next hole doesn't care that you just made 3 birdies in a row.
I do like that Tiger thing that you were saying,
Yeah,
where
I
he
mean,
takes 10 steps, and on the 10th
I'm pretty
step,
sure about that.
It's over with.
I hope I'm right about
Ooh,
that.
We're gonna have the fact checkers on.
I
that.
hope I'm
Yeah,
right
no,
about that.
I actually I thought was really cool. I don't remember any of the other conversation.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he's
did
a fiery
think that
guy,
was cool.
right? Like he would do the fist pumps and all those things. So like, if you can't, like Patrick can't lay your way around and not fist pump, not get pissed off. If you
Yeah.
can't control that 100%, then you need to give yourself an amount of time to feel that way and then shut it down, because you can't get. It takes time for your body to go back down from like a heart rate and like a jacked up perspective. So you can't just get to the next tee, be mad right until your next shot, and then forget about it. It's not enough time.
Yeah.
Right? You got to give yourself, 30, 45 seconds of like zen again. I mean, look, this is talking golf.
I will say, just to piggyback off that, Bob, you actually have one of the best mentalities on the golf course to play with. Like, even when you don't play good, you're a good guy to be teamed with in like a match because you're very positive. And that's like the polar opposite of me, and I'm very negative. But like your positivity, like even when you shoot a bad shot, you're very positive, and you're like it helps you try to kind of stay even keel and like get over it. And like when I read the comments, I think that's why even when you play really badly, you never really get trashed. Like they're like, this is the most positive guy of all time or whatever. It actually works to your benefit.
Yeah.
And then you watch me and I'm melting down, and it's just a disaster.
That's
and
you.
like
Sorry, that's Bob naturally. You're
Yes.
you're naturally super positive too, but on the course you're
on the
not.
course for
Yeah.
whatever reason. And I also think too, like with other players, I'm really positive. Like I try to pump
Yeah.
Right,
everybody
exactly.
up.
True.
And this one thing I will see, when Bob and we used to go to like municipal courses, and like we'd be a twosome, and they'd pair us with someone. We could be with like a super old guy or some young kids or whoever it was with. I always felt like we always brought good energy because we want everybody else around us to have
Yeah.
fun on the golf course. So like I'm super negative when it comes to myself. Like, and I got to be better than that with that. But like, I don't get negative with like you or Bob.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I'm normally like, I know that I can be better. So for me, I'm super hard on myself. But with other people, I want to like bring them up and make sure everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, and
Well, that's
when
why
you,
you're a craps guy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
you know what
that
I mean?
so
That's
much.
why you're a craps guy, because you want the
It
table.
all comes back to the craps
You want the
table.
table.
Oh,
to,
I didn't
get
think
the energy up
first
at the table.
episode golf
shooters
podcast.
hot, shooters hot.
Somehow we're talking about my craps etiquette, which is
you know what too though, when you go out with like Cutsy, you would do a lot of like you could do the solo round. Like you have no problem just showing up to the course doing a solo
all the
round.
time. I used to do that.
When
all the time.
the one time that I did that, I went with guys, like, so you get paired up with 3 random guys, and I was striping ball after ball and hitting greens. And when you hit a green, they don't say anything to you like nice shot or anything like that. So when
you probably got a bad pairing.
when we play with someone, if you have somebody that's getting you fired up, even if you don't know the guy, and saying nice
Yeah.
shot, good this, it keeps you in it, and it makes it more fun when you have people
It
around.
builds
you.
like a band of brothers camaraderie
Yeah,
too. So like the
yeah.
rest of the round, you're creating an atmosphere that is going to be beneficial for you to be
Yeah.
a part
Right,
of.
right.
Because like the average guy, if Ticket makes a good shot, oh Ticket, great shot, he's going to reciprocate at some point. He's going to feel good about it.
Yeah.
And if I make a good chip or a good putt, it's like, hey man, that's a good putt. And you just start building. By the 8th, 9th hole, you already have like a good setup. You know what I mean? Like you're set up for success.
Chad, let me ask you something. Would you ever show up to the golf course for the solo round?
Yeah, just not if I have to play with other people.
Yeah, he would. He
What
would.
are they going to send you out by yourself?
I mean, when you say solo, I mean solo.
You would
like
plan
I
to
love
go out
playing by
solo.
myself, like walking 9 or even 18 by myself. I don't.
Jet would book all 4
I don't
times.
like pairing.
He'd rather pay for the other 3 tee times.
By the way,
than
the
he'd pay
guys
for
you're
somebody.
talking about who like won't say anything when you hit the
That's
shot,
you.
that's
I
me.
was gonna say, that's you.
Yeah, you hit a hole in one. Nice shot.
Could you imagine if you were paired? You never met Jet before. You're paired with him as an individual solo golfer. How long do you think it would take for you pumping him up to get a reaction out of Jet?
He
Like
would
by
talk
what
to you, He
hole?
wouldn't give. He wouldn't give you much. Also, too, I've paired Jet. Like we've brought people who are very slow paced, and he loses his mind. Like Jet, if Jet doesn't play a 2.5 hour round, if it's anything over that, he's livid. So what I started
Listen.
doing. Usually, every time we go to the course, we go and we're filming, but we have times where we go and we play. So lately, when I go with the Jet, I'll book 4 tee times so that it's just me and him, so that he doesn't.
That's smart. Yeah.
You know, it's
That's
Listen,
good.
there's nothing
safe
that
for the
ruins
community.
a round more than like slow play.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I agree
no, I
with that.
Especially when
100%.
we're not good at golf. Like Perez, you're great at golf. You guys are solid at golf. Like I'm not good at golf. I'm not there to like. I'm there to play my round. Once you start hitting like 3-4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours, it's not fun anymore.
Well,
It's the
4
most
hours
important
is
thing.
is a normal.
Well,
round.
I like to play
yeah.
3.5.
No.
You're like
I play
walking
no,
like
I,
Lance Armstrong.
I play
up
in
that
like 2 because you hit your shot, you go to your ball, you get a yardage, you hit your shot.
Yeah, but
you
Jet,
go to
the
ball.
problem is in LA or any of these places that you're playing, you're
Oh, I
never
know.
able just to go
That's
and
why we pulled
shoot.
a Bobby
like,
4 tee time move.
yeah, it's a power play.
Well, no, it is the worst part. Like people are like, I talk to people all the time back home, and they're like, I can't play with you. Like I'm not good enough. I'm like, I don't give a shit how good you are. Like I'll play
Yeah,
with
just
somebody
keep
that's shooting
pace.
115, 80, 90. It doesn't matter as long as you're keeping up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care, dude.
Bro,
I'm just
if-
out there to have a good time.
if-
What I won't play with is I'm not going to play with another scratch golfer that's like super deliberate and like has their routine, is super slow, reads it from. I don't care how good you are. I don't want to be around that. I don't have
Yeah.
time for that. It's just like we're not on TV. We're not on tour. We're not making money doing this stuff. There's a time and a place. Playing state events. If you want to read your putts, that's fine. But like I'm going out, having beers, hanging out with my buddies. You don't need to be walking around the hole on a 6-footer for both.
If you're-
I got
yeah.
no time for that shit. man.
The
I
only
just don't.
putts I'll read are birdie putts, so that happens once a year. So I don't like read putts. I'll read or like a par putt if we're playing like a match.
Sure.
If you're hitting balls into the woods and you're like and you're 22 over on the 8th hole and you're looking, just throw a ball in the fairway,
Yeah.
play a best ball, put
I
it next
agree
to
with
put
that.
it next to
Drop
your
up by
partner's
you.
ball
Yeah.
and hit that into the
Correct.
woods again and then do it again.
I
like
agree
I don't,
with that
you know what I mean?
100%, Jet. It's pace of play is something that definitely impacts the game and your overall experience
But
with it.
yeah.
And there's nothing worse. I personally feel there's nothing worse than sitting on a tee box for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
That's awful.
It feels like an eternity to the point where like by the
momentum's
time you
gone.
come to swing, you're expecting to make a bad shot.
And there's so many new golfers now in the world, in
Yeah.
the country. And the first, I think, 10, 20 times you play, you should just play a best ball. Just pick your ball up and put it in the fairway or put it wherever. It's not fun, like, to play at first. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to get better.
I actually think even when we film, we do a pretty good
We
job.
play quick.
We keep
Yeah.
it, even
Yeah.
when filming, we keep it moving.
I usually tell courses when I call and tell them we're coming out to do that, and they're like, "Well, we can't hold the course up." I'm like, honestly, like, we're moving. Like, we have this down to a science. Like, we're not. Jet's like running back and forth between shots. That's the only time that would be like different from a normal round.
Yeah.
Is like the 15 seconds that it takes for Jet to get from one side of the fairway to the other. Otherwise, we're moving.
Well, the
just
other
like anybody else would.
The other thing too is we play as normally three
Yeah.
guys max, unless we're doing something special. So we're one guy less than a lot of the other pairings out there. And then on top of that, we're oftentimes playing a scramble or best ball. So there's no need to spend tons of time for everybody shooting from different
I
spots.
mean, we've
Every
been filming
day,
for 3
yeah.
days.
We
and
wait.
all 3 days. We've been waiting on the group in front of
Yes.
us. So I mean,
That is
Yeah,
correct.
a golf course is only as fast as the slowest group out there. So you could have
That's a bar.
15 tee times.
That'll be a bar
14
for
of those
Perez.
14 of those pairings are quick golfers, but if the one in the front, the 15th pairing is a slow golfer, everybody's getting slow.
Yeah, the thing is too, it's with the way, like when we first started Bob Does Sports, like the golfing for us is just so natural. It's just us playing golf. It's just
Yeah.
us every day. And like, Press, me and you were talking about it, that like, I think people think like for the camera, like things change after. It's the same shit. So we don't have to change
What's
anything.
Cutsy like
That's
off
what this
camera?
is,
I'm like,
The
exactly the
exact
same.
thing.
That's a scary thought.
when we started Bob Does Sports, me and Jet were going to these different stadiums and we were doing like the man on the street stuff, which we don't have any control over what the guest is going to do, finding the right
Yeah.
person. Like with golf and going out there, people always wonder like why did Bob does it's Bob the sports, but you guys don't play sports, we don't do golf, because then we realized we
tried.
we tried, we really did, we tried. I think we'll mix in like other stuff, but with the man on the street stuff, it was stressful because you don't have any control of it. The golf, we're in front of the camera and you can control it. It's just us playing.
And yeah, it's
Yeah.
more natural. Like us or you guys on the golf course is your like peak personalities. Like it's amazing.
Right,
Yeah.
I agree, and it's where we're Fat Perez is most comfortable. He's the most comfortable man in
for
golf.
sure. I mean, you can drink, 10 beers and not really be judged for it. So it's a beautiful thing out there. I love it.
It's also, I think, like for us, we love golf so much. And I think you can love golf no matter, like, you don't need to be a scratch golfer to be able to love golf. And that's what the great thing is right now is the game is growing because, through the pandemic, everything, the one good thing is that the game of golf has just continued to evolve and grow, and seeing like things that like waste management, stuff like that has made it so much more like appealing for people to want to join and like enjoy it.
Sure.
And I think if you just enjoy the game, and I always tell people like when you start, I would suggest not even taking your score down. Just go out there and have fun and like go with a couple buddies, have a few drinks, and just like get used to hitting the ball, because the score is something that can just throw you off, and like oftentimes our scores aren't even good to begin with. So go out there, have a good time, and just enjoy it.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, golf is very unique in the fact that, like, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter, like, fast forward 5 years, how good of a golfer you end up being. When you start for the very first time playing golf, you are going to be bad. The first few times that you go out to
inevitable.
the range, you probably won't hit one good golf shot.
Yeah.
Right? And you can go out on a basketball court. You've never shot a basketball before, but you're going to get the ball into the hoop. Like, somehow, it's not going to look good, but you'll manufacture a way to get it in the hoop. So a lot of people go out and they're like, the ball's not moving. It's
Right.
not hard. I'm an athlete. And they get so, like, just get disenchanted with the game immediately because they're just used to like being good at something when they pick it up. And golf is so humbling in
And
that
one
way.
day you think you got it all figured out, and then the next
You had the
day,
worst round of your life.
Yeah.
No one has perfected the game, and it's like nobody. They're the greatest of all time. Still have bad golf shot. Still have bad golf rounds. Still have bad tournaments. Nobody can perfect this game. You can always get better, and it's a metaphor for life.
Wow. I didn't see that coming at the end.
Cutsy mentioned waste management, and I don't know for sure if this would happen, but we're trying for it. They want to do like a Bob Does Sports type tent at the waste management this
That'd be super
year.
cool.
You got the Super Bowl and you got the waste management on the same day.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
better
Same
you better
weekend?
give me a chaperone in that time.
Oh man, the only thing with last time we went to waste management, we weren't able to get to 17.
Yeah, and it was hot as fuck.
It was.
It was
man.
brutal.
It was.
And everybody was hammered. So it was tough to like get work done there. And everybody, like Bob was like a celebrity there.
I love Scottsdale so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
Scottsdale's our favorite place to go, I
love
think.
it,
It's-
Besides Wickenburg.
I'll never forget, Bob.
Well,
That's the
yeah.
first. Scottsdale's the first trip I ever made with you and Jet, and it was like, to me, was like when Bob Does Sports first started for me, like because you guys had been
Shout
doing
out Red Lobster.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that was the first night. It was my first trip with you guys, and we were trying to figure out, like, in the airport, like, what are we gonna do for the video? Like, we've got to come up with something. I think we had just done the Links of Victoria video, which turned out to be really the video that started everything. But we were like trying to come up with ideas, and we were said, let's just do a beer challenge. So it was our first night. We had just gotten into Scottsdale. I was super excited. I'd gotten a couple days off of work, so I was able to come out with you guys. And we sat down at Red Lobster and we were talking about what we were going to do. And I was excited about the first day of the course. To me, that was like the origin of Bob Does Sports and like when it started. So for me, Scottsdale is undefeated. It's always going to be like
that
top
was-
tier place to go. And we did the beer challenge like the next day at
True.
True North.
Yeah,
That
which
day-
And
was so
that
much
was
fun.
the
Yeah.
first ever challenge we ever did, and hysterical.
Yeah, I think at Red Lobster we were the food was terrible, but that's when we all kind of realized like, oh shit, like we could really, this is like what we're gonna be doing. Like
For me,
We
especially, I
crushed
was
that Arizona
working.
trip. When we came back, we now on our trips we'll do like 7, 8, 9, 10 videos. We did 4 videos in Arizona. We're like, we made it. Like it's over. Like, we're like, we never have to work again. Like that's what it felt like. And then, but the videos all were great. Like it was the
They were
first match we
great.
did, the first
Challenge.
the beer challenge, and then you left, and then we did
To
2
Wickenburg.
others.
You
in
did
Wickenburg,
chasing
yeah.
par with
Yeah.
Bob at Wickenburg, I
Yeah.
think. I had to leave because I had to go back to my job, which
Yeah.
now seems like a distant memory. But I tell you, it's exciting because I think like you watch some channels. I don't know what like the vibes and stuff are like. Sincerely, I say like we are like great friends, and like it's not even like business partners. It's like we're going out to play a round of golf with the boys.
Yeah.
And I think that environment and just like that natural like it just chill vibe that we have just enables us to do so well and have so much fun, which translates really good to the camera.
Yeah, none of it. I mean, like none of it seems real. I think we're all in the same spot. I don't think it'll ever change that. Like, it doesn't seem real that we're doing this for a job. And I think even when me and you first started, we were so confused as of like, is this really happening? Like, what are we
Yeah.
supposed to do? Like, even like with the company card, we wouldn't know like, can we put the dinner on? Does that
Yeah.
qualify? Like, does an airport meal qualify as the trip?
That's really what it
We
was.
couldn't
So
figure it
ridiculous.
out.
It really
Yeah,
We
yeah.
couldn't figure it out. It was like,
Yeah.
it was bizarre. But now I think we just found such a groove. The idea that we have to get as much content is kind of like our good friend, shout out Good Good, like
out
Garrett
Good
and all
Good.
them. They'll do like Good Week. Like us, we want
Yeah.
to do like, especially
Yeah.
with Perez living on the East Coast.
Sure.
But like we do, whether it's a week, and then like when Perez came in, I mean, Perez came in for this trip. We've had 4 or 5 days. We have 8.
We've
videos.
played.
We're gonna come out with 9. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nine
we've had
videos
3.
total?
We've played 3 days. The last 3 days, we've got 6 videos.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this Hot Ones challenge 7. We're playing
Tournament
a
tomorrow.
couple tomorrows. It's 8, 9. So I mean, we're gonna in 5 days we're gonna have 9 videos.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy because it's like we play golf anyway. Like we play golf together. We're friends, like you said, right? It almost was. It's like you're just putting a camera onto a situation, something we would do anyway. It's almost like we would go to play golf, like we're just like, hey, let's go out and play golf, and like I bet like we'd get through like 4 holes and just look at each other like we should really be filming this, like you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we-
Like, it's
That's
interesting
definitely
because-
happened.
because we would
just
just
started
it'd be the same thing. Yeah, Jets. Yeah, Meanwhile,
me
Jet
out.
feels not the same.
4
way. Yeah.
cameras,
I got an idea.
4 men.
Why don't we have Jet
Golf
out here? Why don't we have Jet out here? Because Jet literally has anything better to do than be out here with us clowns.
Like the
right now.
golf channel, but with regular guys.
Jed is the most, and like I think it's been fun to watch the followers kind of catch on. And when Jed came on the podcast, and I want to play the clip when we were talking about it, it was great. When about the whole Jet coming in as the 4th, but the followers started to understand Jet because we all find Jet to be the
Oh, it's
funniest.
unbelievable.
I love, and the reason he's the most blunt guy, you know, of all time, and he's gonna say it how it is, and sometimes it comes off like being a dick, but when he says it, you think about it, it's like there's a lot of truth to that.
all
Like,
right.
what he
Yeah.
just said, I wouldn't have gone about it that way,
Yeah.
but what he's saying is a fact.
Jed will always speak facts.
Yeah.
Not in the best way.
in
but
the,
he'll
in the fewest
always speak
words
facts.
possible.
Somebody here's got to speak facts, you know?
Yeah, it's
No,
a circus.
but the reality of that is, I mean, as fun as it is, like we have a job to do. We got to put out the
Yeah.
videos. We got to keep growing and get bigger. So I try to take that, mindset standpoint.
You take the biggest burden of that mindset, I would say, without question.
Yeah, but
like
it has to. It should
yeah.
be that way, you know.
100%.
But,
I mean, it's a two-way street, right? Like we don't want to go out there and feel like, all right, we're clocking in, time to work, because that's not what we're doing. Like we're being ourselves, we're having a good time, and the moment that we think we're it's gonna show. We don't. It's just
I-
you
yeah,
know, you know
I-
what I
Hard
mean?
to
I don't know how
imagine
explain that,
clocking in
like-
when you're going to a
Yeah,
first
well,
tee
I know,
box.
but like it's not just
Look
like
at
time.
the cuts,
You know, it's
in
just
this
different.
outfit
Yeah,
clocking
my
in.
goodness
You know what I mean? Like
gracious.
that's it's
Hello,
an
our
HR
specials
nightmare.
tonight are sir. What the fuck?
Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy, and we'll keep the ball rolling. But I do love the idea of the podcast and just kind of firing these episodes out, kind of as we go. But then, just the last thing to carry on with the Jet thing, for us, we don't have to do the editing part. So we always talk
Yeah.
about when the round's over for us, we're
like-
all like high fiving, like we got a video in the bag. That's next week's video. We're good to go. For Jet, his work's just beginning. For Ticket, like their work is just starting.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
That's
why
how
Jet's a
you
real one.
miss your own birthday dinners. But it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't want to be there, so it's all good.
Jet's the only guy I've ever known that hasn't showed up to his own birthday dinner.
We had a birthday dinner for Jet
Last night.
We're like, Jet, we're
Listen.
going to Rayo's for your birthday. He's like, yeah, I'm not going. I'm like, Jet, it's your birthday dinner. He's like, I'm not going. And then nobody, when Jet says he's not going, nobody questions it. Like,
No,
you just.
I mean,
He goes, I'm going home. I'm watching Don't Mess with the Zohan, and that's that.
That's not what happened. I went home and I edited next week's video. So if I went to the dinner, next week's video would have been 7 holes long. And it would have just ended. And then everybody be like, what happened? You ended in a tie? And then, like,
no, I had dinner.
yeah, sorry, my birthday.
By the way, big happy birthday, the Jet. It is here. His birthday right now. Thankfully, he showed
Thanks,
up on the
boys.
podcast. Not dinner,
Happy
but he did.
birthday to the
Not
Jets.
Good show, boys.
Happy
job.
birthday
Way to show up.
to the Jets.
He hates us so much.
Happy birthday
dear
Benjamin.
Happy birthday
birthday
to you.
All
Ladies
right,
and
that's pretty
gentlemen,
good now.
That is the first, I guess, edition. I mean, of Bob the Sports
It is.
Podcast right there, fellas. We got a wing challenge to do.
We do.
For better, for worse. Folks, do us a favor. Like, comment, subscribe. Join us. Again, I think the goals will update as you go. Once every 2 weeks, fire these things out. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Boys, appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Benjamin,
It's
hell
love.
of a debut. Bob the Sports Podcast. Let's go eat some wings. Clap it up, boys. That is
pretty good.
fantastic.
That was pretty good.
That is just fantastic.